Football is treated like a religion, a cult, if you will, within America. People will go as far as to revolve multiple days around this single sport just to feel anything. And that idea is shown within the movie Him. So that being said, here's my review on what I liked and disliked within the movie Him. First, let's start with what I didn't like. There are so many things they could have done to make this film infinitely better. Multiple scenes done to justify and insinuate the different aspects of football and their underlying meanings were done just enough, but could have gone even further. And what sucks is a lot of these scenes that has this kind of stuff happen isn't further explained or shown until later on. If anything, to put it lightly, we are edged the entire film when it comes to this stuff, with a few things here and there sprinkled in, but nothing hard hitting. No pun intended considering it's football, but you get what I mean. I believe there could have been more scenes added to justify the means to hammer it home. Another thing I didn't like was the cryptic aspect. Understandably, you can't have everything explained within one scene, but a lot of the things that happened in this film I think went unaccounted for. Everything being thrown together at the end to kind of just put it all together. And if it is rushed and still cryptic after all of that. I don't know if it was just the segment of scenes, how they were all put together. They kind of made sense, kind of didn't. Some of these characters were like, what is your purpose? Makes you think, but in some places not in the way that you would like, while in others in places that you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. In my opinion, throws everything off in the end. And on that topic, being led to believe one thing, but it actually being a different thing, while also kind of explaining or justifying that it's one thing, but in reality, it's still a different thing altogether. That may sound confusing because it is. We're led to believe that it's demonic in nature, which it kind of is, but kind of isn't, because we're not shown that it is, nor is it referenced, but it's also referenced very subtly. It's really weird. About the film, I'm sitting there thinking, just fucking choose one. Why are we bouncing back and forth? Do you want it to be demonic in a biblical sense, or do you want it to be the human nature of wanting to be great? And there's moments where you're like, okay, they're kind of combining the two, but they're not really doing that. It's I don't understand here. If they wanted it to be both, they could have just said it was both. But even then, you're like, is it? Is it not? Overall, the story could have been a lot better. Without a very solid story foundation, which I'm not saying this doesn't have, the movie falls apart. It still gets the point across. It still shows us what this movie is about, but it could have been a lot better. Now, on to the things I really liked. This story in all its entirety is surrounded around football. The mental struggles, the physical struggles, what you go through in the grand scheme of everything related to football. The underlying tones, meanings, and messages that are shown throughout this film are what really did it for me. Tyreek Withers' character going into Marlon Wayans' house being a brand new thing he's not dealt with. The same could be said about him going from college to the league. It's a brand new thing altogether. He doesn't know how to deal with it, and now he has to find his way through it. Discovering new things, whether it's questionable or not. The phone calls, the women, the drugs, so on and so forth. All things distracting him from becoming the best. Still playing off the grand idea that is throughout this entire film and all of its trailers: greatness demands sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice? Whether that means the things around you or yourself in general. There are different parts in this movie, if you look closely, that actually show what the whole point of this whole thing is. What it takes to become the GOAT and how you go about doing it. Even if it means to the absolute extreme. Seeing how fans react to Marlon Wayans' character, Isaiah White, and Tyreek Withers' character. Both reactions from these fans being wildly different. Elaborating on how fans are today in the real world. Doing anything to support their team. Whether it means cuss them out, cancel them online, or even go as far as to kill them. Fans of football are weird. They are crazy. And that single aspect is shown in this film. But at the same time, the fans are what make you want to do more to become the GOAT. That is shown through Marlon Wayans' character. Which makes the phrase, football, family, God more prevalent in his eyes. After watching the film and hearing that, you get why he said it. Same thing with the drug aspect, doping. It's a big thing within the NFL. All different sports. Whatever you need to do to become better. Again, what will you sacrifice? Small things that are put into these different scenes that justify the means when it comes to sports. Whether it be from the players, the fans, all of it. Football is seen as a cult, a religion, if you will. And that's shown in this movie to the absolute max. With that, Tyreek Withers' character realizing that this is all that it's cracked up to be, and then some, but maybe not in the way that he wants it. But at the same time, he's grappling with wanting to be the greatest because this is a chance in a lifetime that never comes around. Until a big plot drop happens that changes everything. Let me tell you, the final scene here, yeah, that was insane. But you know what? The get back was necessary. I'll leave it at that. The get back was 100% necessary. Where it goes from there, I don't know. Again, with the whole cryptic aspect. As for acting for Tyreek Withers and Marlon Wayans, fantastic. I would go as far as to say Marlon Wayans as a more dramatic character, more serious, more on-edge character in this film, did him justice. We're used to this comedic version of Marlon Wayans, but where has he been as a dramatic actor this entire time? Because by God, he convinced me. Tyreek Withers trying to balance the fact of all this happening and himself was done perfectly. I really liked how not only the camera showed that, but how they were able to show that. The emotion was very much there, not so much to the point where I'd cry, but it got the point across. Camera work, the lighting, the X-ray aspect of like the body horror that's not really body horror, I like that. Again, I feel like they could have explained it a little bit more, but it was cool when we saw it. It honestly makes you curious more than anything. As for the supporting characters, they were all right. I feel like they could have had a bigger role to play, but they were cool in the grand scheme of things. But overall, I would give this movie a 3 out of 5 stars. Definitely elaborates on the darker side of football, whether it involves the players or the fans, and really brings it to light, even though it wants to stay in the dark. I still recommend you go see this film. I enjoyed it, but I didn't like it to the extent that I thought I was gonna like it. Definitely didn't hate it. Very interesting. Could have been elaborated on maybe a little bit more.